Hiromi has been releasing critically praised albums over the last 15 years, including her most recent, The Terrific Spark. And she says, I don't want to put a name on my music, but we're going to have to. Let's call it compelling and passionate. Hiromi performs tonight at Kerner Hall, but first she joins us here at our Jazz FM 91 studios. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Can we talk a little bit about your beginnings? Let's go into your background just a little bit. I know you started playing classical piano at the age of 5?
6.
6?
Mm-hmm.
Was that something that your parents sort of asked you to do? You were drawn to the piano. How did you even find yourself behind that piano at the age of 6?
Well, my mom took me to the piano lesson, and that's how I started. And my first piano teacher happened to be a big jazz fan, and she helped me listen to a couple of LPs from Oscar Peterson and Errol Garner, and I just fell in love with it right away.
Do you think if that teacher had not had a sensibility to jazz that it could have gone a different way?
I think so. I mean, you have to be introduced, otherwise you wouldn't discover, the new music. So I think she had a big role in my life.
Talk a little bit about we're obviously, we're Oscar Peterson fans here. We're in the place where he lived for many, many years here in Toronto. What were some of the things that when you heard his music that attracted you to the sound of his playing?
Well, his music sounded so happy, I mean, the first time I listened to him was when I was 8, so I didn't really understand much of techniques or, how difficult the lines that he was playing can be. I just got it like a message, and I was listening to it like he was speaking, and it sounded so happy, and I couldn't, stop dancing to his music. And, later I learned it's called swing. But just his rhythm and energy, happiness, that really caught me, I think.
Because I understand when you were, as a young musician, that when you maybe didn't have the vocabulary to describe things, your teacher and you would use colors as ways of expressing different, if it was sad, play blue, these types of things. And that's almost what you're saying about Oscar's playing too, that it was, without knowing the technique side of it, it was just feelings.
Yeah, I don't know, Oscar was like sunshine.
A great way to put it. I know you ended up moving from Japan you went to Berklee. I'm wondering what that experience was like. Was it nervous about moving to another country and going to school? Culturally, was it interesting, or was it just about a great adventure that you were excited to go on?
I was never nervous. I was just super excited to, go to the States where a lot of music that I'm listening to was born. And I was really excited to meet people from all over the world and just explore. And, when I was in Berklee College of Music, I could meet so many musicians from everywhere who had same dream. So I enjoyed it so much. I mean, culturally, it was completely different, but, I just got used to it by now, I think.
I'm sure by now. Was that an intense period of practice and immersion in the music when you were there? Is that, or is that how you've been your whole life, to be fully immersed in the music and practicing, or was that experience at Berklee different?
Well, I was always, just focused in music. I practiced a lot from, when, I don't know, from the really early age. But when I was in Berklee, even like all the friends were musicians. And that was the first time for me to experience that, because I never been to music school till then. So all my friends were, just non-musicians. But for the first time, we just, everybody, like, I just walk into, they were musicians, and we just always talk about music. The music was kind of center topic every day. So I would say that years was really like music all the way.
24 hours a day.
Yes.
I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight because it's a very unique type of performance you're doing tonight. It's a duet performance tonight. You're going to be with Edmar Castaneda, and he is a harp player. And when I say that to our listeners, I'm not talking about blues harp, I'm talking about harp. Tell me about Montreal was where the two of you first connected?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how you guys found each other.
Well, that was last year in June in Montreal Festival. We happened to be sharing a stage in Montreal Jazz Festival, and it was my first time seeing him live, and I was just wowed. I mean, when you hear the word harp, you would probably, most of people just imagine something. He completely changed, my view on harp. He can make a groove. He's like, he can be a guitarist, bassist, and percussionist at the same time. So much rhythm, so much passion, and I just, when I saw him, I just felt like I'm gonna be performing, with this guy, and I just knew it straight away because I felt like we share the same musical language, and how we see music, what we looking for on stage. I just felt that we see very similar thing, so it was just really just natural.
And that was before you even had a chance to perform with him. I understand that you did a couple of nights at the Blue Note were the first times, and all of the things that you just said were true.
Yes, I was playing a couple of solo shows at Blue Note New York in the following month last year, so in July, and I invited him to play a couple of songs with me, and that was the first time we actually played together. But we probably had like 40 minutes, just going through some songs.
Little rehearsal?
With little rehearsal. We were playing like a couple of songs, 2 or 3 songs together, and it was like, wow, so easy, It's just, but I knew somehow I knew it would be easy. It just, it was like magic. It was meant to be. And then, because he inspired me so much, I started writing songs for piano and harp. And so that's what we are performing tonight. And a couple of Edmar's original and a couple of my original from my past recording, and also this new songs that I wrote for piano and harp. And he pushed me to write it. Very happy about it.
I like that you said that the harp is like the piano. If you turn it up, they're both kind of the same thing.
Yes.
Where the bass and it's all in front of you there as far as the way the notes tile out. Is that kind of what we're thinking about?
Yes. So Edmar actually told me, so for him, piano was the hardest instrument to play with because it's too similar. And
interesting.
So it was very interesting. Like, really? Then why is it so easy? But it's true that when I play with him, I'm like, while we are playing, we are orchestrating, which range of, which range is missing? Where should I play now? High end or low end? Okay, he's playing bass now and the melody. I play some chords here. So it's like improvisation, but also orchestrational improvisation too.
Wow, that is wild. and it fits too because you're very percussive on the piano, and you've said that he can be very percussive on the harp. So there's also a rhythmic element that is there that maybe people don't necessarily think of piano or harp being able to deliver as an instrument.
So it's funny, they all come, the audience, they expect something kind of soft and mellow and elegant. I mean, we can passion, and all of the audience looked really surprised.
They come with an expectation, and it's not anything that they think.
Yes.
You've been to our city before. When you come to Toronto, is there anything that springs to mind that you like to do, or is there anything about our city that when you see it on your schedule that you think, oh, you know what, I like going back to Toronto because I'm going to go to that restaurant or go to that place?
Well, I participated jazz festival many years, and it's one of my favorite festivals. They always have great lineup, and its organization's really smooth, and I always enjoy being here.
Well, Kerner Hall is a beautiful venue, and it certainly will be making some wonderful music tonight with yourself and Edmar. Hiromi, thanks so much for coming by and saying hi to us. It's a delight to meet you, and I hope when you're in town again, you'll come back and say hi.
Thank you so much.
Here's a tune from Spark from Hiromi. This is a tune called Wonderland on Jazz FM 91.